Welcome back to Octane Mobile Gaming. So I'm back in the UK. I was traveling the United States for the last 2 weeks, so things has been a bit difficult. Got back to the UK yesterday and I was very tired and jet lagged, so I didn't manage to do a video on the deck. So I'm just looking at a few combinations that I've been trying out since the event started, and all three of these combinations actually work quite well for what they are. So the first combination I've got is this one. It features 3 different support cards. So we've got Guru Pachaseth, which is a commander card. It won't do much damage as it's a commander card, but what it does, it actually gives you heal and it actually spawns gem. We've got 2 copies of Fatal Flower, which is the current support card. We got Rudolph Night Star, which is the support card for the last Earthslayer event. So this combination is running 3 different relics. We've got the first one up, we've got the Earth Scepter, and the Earth Scepter is just to aid in recovery. We've got the Druid Staff, that's an ancient relic. I've got the Clairvoyant Blade, which is a god relic, that's for Guru Pachaseth. And last but not least, I've got the North Star, which is a Slayer relic, and that's for Rudolph. And that deck doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's cheap and cheerful. This is my main deck that I've been using. It's got the Sky Swarm, and the Sky Swarm is a commander card, but it's primarily there for its ability to spawn 4 Power Gem 4s. It's got a secondary skill which is attached to its battle skill, but that one I won't be using. That one is if a turn delay is used, it actually spawns extra Power Gem, but it's mainly there to provide me with the 4 Power Gem 4s for Grove Guardian and Cedar Farm Route. So Cedar Farm Route and Grove Guardian actually spawns 5 Power Gems and an extra 5 Power Gem if there's 4 or more Power Gem 4s on the board. You've seen me actually speak several times on this particular mechanics. I've got Alfonso, and Alfonso is there to provide me with not only damage, but he does his earth parry that actually gives me an extra 3 Power Gem 4. So this is Cedar Farm Route. Cedar Farm Route does the same thing as Grove Guardian, but only difference is he actually spawns Power Gem 1s while Grove Guardian spawns Power Gem 2s. So these are 2 of my main Power Gem spawners. And last but not least, I've got Fatal Flower, which is a support card, which is one of my main damage dealer. So both Alfonso and Fatal Flower are my 2 main damage dealers. So this deck is running 3 different type of relic. I've got 2 Clairvoyant Blade, which are god relics. I've got the Ceremonial Mask, which is a command relic. Again, I've got the North Star, and I've got the Colossal Crusher, which is a giant relic, and that is for Grove Guardian and Cedar Farm Route. And last but not least is this combination. The only difference between this one and the first one is the 2 mummies. So the 2 mummies are going to spawn my Power Gems. They both spawn Power Gem 1s depending on intensity. They can fill the board with Power Gem 1s, and the first one will fill the board with Power Gem 1s, and the next mummy will actually upgrade them to Power Gem 2s, while Guru Pachaseth again will actually provide me with heal and gem spawning, and Fatal Flower will be my main damage dealer. So first we look at the deck featuring the 2 mummies. So what you want to do with this particular one is to get your intensity or skill point, whichever one you want to call it, because they're basically the same thing. You need to get your intensity as high as possible so you can fill the board with Power Gems, and then you just swap your Power Gems and your fatal flower, as she is called, will give, in this case not a fatal blow, but it will do a bit of damage. As well as Guru Pachiset spawns gems, your relic will start producing power gems based on the amount of earth gems that are on the board. So if you can save as much earth gems as possible, if there are power gem 1, 2s or 3s, when you activate your mummy, she will actually upgrade those to 1 level higher. So you want to save as much as possible so you can actually do as much damage as possible. So I've activated both mummy skills, but because my intensity is only 200, I haven't filled the board with power gem 2s, but I did manage to fill the board with power gem. And as you can see, 26 billion respectively for both support cards. So Fatal Flower in this setup is dealing 26 billion each, which gives me a total of 52 billion damage. So this is my main setup, and this one deals over 100 billion damage, and it's just a 2 turn. So your relics produce your gems, you swap them, power up your battle skills, activate your battle skills, and then you will be able to defeat the boss. This boss is not that powerful. It's just over 30 billion. So it will die after just 2 turns. There you go, boss is dead. And last but not least, well, we'll have one more look at this deck in action. What we'll do, we'll see if we can find a boss that's not actually a Gale boss. Internet is a bit slow, but it is what it is. So here we go. So we're gonna go up against a level, let me just have a look, a level 256 Sailor's Bane. And it's basically the same procedure. We're just gonna allow our relics to produce all our gems and power gems, swap our gems, power up our battle skills, activate all our battle skills, swap the power gems, and hopefully we'll be able to kill the boss. If we are not able to kill the boss on the second turn, what will happen is your Slayer skill points will get up to 25, so Alfonso will be able to produce 3 power gem 4s after Earth Parry. So you want to activate him just before you're gonna be hit by the boss, so you can produce your power gem 4s. But nevertheless, we managed to defeat the boss and we managed to get the MVP. So that's so much damage we managed to put out. So so it's 118 plus 24, that's over 140 billion damage. So last but not least is this cheap and cheerful deck. It features 3 different support cards. So none of these support cards actually spawns power gem, so we're primarily dependent on our relics to actually create power gems for us. So you want to save as much power gems on the board as possible. But because Guru Pachiset will keep spawning gems, you'll destroy quite a bit of those power gems. But not to worry, chip damage is very important with a deck like this. The more damage you can do over time, the better it is for you. So don't worry if you destroy a few of your power gems, because the chip damage actually adds up. And over time you'll manage to do quite a bit of damage. Not massive amount of damage as with the previous deck, but you will be able to do at least probably about 60 to 70 billion damage over 60 seconds. So it's quite an effective deck if you're a free-to-play player and you haven't got a lot of power gem spawners. Or if you're just starting out and you've only got just support cards, this is a deck that actually is cheap and cheerful. So it's affordable and it's obtainable. So it's a deck that can be used. So as you can see, I'm just rinse and repeating. At certain points during the fight, what I'll do, I won't activate Guru Pachiset's ability. I'll just allow the earth gems to fall, and when the earth gems get up to about 12 earth gems, the relics will start to produce quite a bit of power gems. So as we've got 4 relics on the board, they each will produce 1 power gem, so that's 4 power gem each turn. And if you're able to save at least about, say, 10, 11 or 12 of those, you can do quite a bit of damage when the board is filled with gems and power gems, because all the support cards actually produces earth gems. So it will give you not a massive bang for your buck, but it does do a bit of damage. As you can see, 3.4 billion respectively for each one of the fatal flowers, and 1.4 billion for each one of your Rodolph. So if you put those together, you're dealing just over 11 billion damage. And if you can manage to deal 11 billion damage over 60 seconds, then you can deal quite a bit of damage in a fight. So that's a possible combination you can use. So glad to see that Network has actually listened to the voice of the community and actually brought back the historical hero, and now we can actually obtain the 3 relics that we couldn't for the last 2 events. And they have actually changed the 5-star collection back to the 1 in 4 chance to get in the event card, which is quite good. I didn't get the event card this time around, but I'm quite happy that it's the 1 in 4 chance. And as you can see, the relics aren't really falling in my favor this week, so I got quite a bit of duplicates, but it is what it is. One of the things I'm hoping for is that we'll actually be able to obtain the ultra rare, because as you can see, I've got Alfonso, but I haven't got the ultra rare for this particular setup. So if I was able to get the ultra rare, I could create a ultimate form. Even though it's a historical ultimate form, it's not for the previous event, but it would still do quite a bit of damage and it would help out. So I'm in 12th position, and one of the things that I really like is that Network has actually expanded the leaderboard, so there's more chances of actually finishing higher, and that's quite great. So I'm doing quite well. Friends Bosses, absolute crap. I won't talk about that one. I hate Friends Bosses. So I'll see how the event goes. If I get the Master Collection card, if I do, I'll probably do a next video. If I don't, I'll still do a next video. But this is Ayok Tensin. Like, subscribe, and as always, peace.